Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to All Fish Matter YouTube channel. I'm here with my main man, Caleb. What are we going to do today, Caleb?
Fishing.
I asked him what he wanted to do last night, and he wanted to go fishing. So we're heading out. So if you're wondering what this is, I adapted this yellow thing on here as a float, because I don't know if you guys have seen any of my other videos, but I flipped my kayak over with this head mounted GoPro on, and luckily it stayed on, but I was very concerned that it was going to end up at the bottom of the river. It was pretty deep where it happened. So this actually does float. It'll stick up about that high out of the water. So I tested it out. So if you see that, I'm not trying to put an eagle feather in my hat. But anyway, we're trying to go super simple today. We're skipped the kayaks, we skipped the boat altogether. We have the day off, and we decided that we're just going to go fishing. We're going to go off the bank in this lake back here. We're going to try to catch some crappie and catfish, and then below the spillway there's a river down here. If we don't do any good, we brought some corn, because you know what you can catch with corn. My favorite, some big old carp. We don't plan on keeping a thing today. Everything's going to be catch and release, so we'll see. If we don't find any catfish and crappie, we're going to be after those carp. So come along with us. Let's see if we can find something. For some reason, my GoPro Hero Black completely didn't record any audio for this entire video, so bear with me. I'm going to voice over a little bit of it, but basically we caught this one single green sunfish in about an hour and 10 minutes. So for whatever reason, they just weren't there today, and we moved on. We went somewhere else. So we're actually going to go over the hill to our right here and actually go to the spillway, the bottom part of this contraption you see in front of us. We're going to go down to the bottom where it actually flows out into the old riverbed. So we're here. Automatically I saw a carp in there, so I threw a minnow in there for a few minutes, and then I'm pointing out to you that I can see carp down in there. So it's not a very big area, so unfortunately I can't catch a bunch. Usually you catch a couple, and then it kind of stirs the hole up. So I always throw a little bit of corn out, and then I put the corn on my hook, and then after I put the corn on the hook, I cover the entire hook with like 6, 7, 8 pieces of corn, whatever. You can kind of see here. Best thing to have is a wet towel or something if you're doing this, because it can be so sticky. All that sugar from that corn. Also, I like to put a little bit of vanilla in my corn. That's kind of a pro tip. I don't know how many of you guys fish with corn for carp, but you put a little vanilla on there and the carp will eat it up. The catfish will eat this too. I've caught a lot of catfish with corn. This actually doesn't take too long. I should have never shut the GoPro off, but I did. And then you'll see we get a bite here pretty quick. So the worst part about this is we have to jump down these rocks and walk down to the water's edge down here. I'm basically leading the fish down there, trying to avoid these big rocks to keep from breaking my line. And I have Caleb had the net, and then he decided he would really rather reel this fish in. So he really wrestles with this fish for a while, and he was so excited. I'm sad that the audio didn't pick up on this video, because he cracked me up. That is not our worm container, FYI. And the monster can that you see roll off the top of the concrete above us here in a little bit, the wind blew it down. We actually had picked that up. We ended up with a whole bag full of trash at the end of this day. People leaving stuff. He's really struggling with this fish. He keeps wanting to walk up the bank, and I'm afraid the line's going to get tangled up on the rocks. There's the monster can. I think I was really giving somebody down the road about leaving their trash here. So we were not back up there very long when we hooked another one. It took maybe a total of 5 minutes to get this next one. It was not as big, but still pretty decent sized fish. That piece of coat hanger we found was a unique find as well. I have no idea why someone would have had that where we were. It was like a plastic coat hanger. Caleb decides he wants to be the net man on this one. He was prepared to run halfway down the river after it. I had to call him back. Trusty Lou's pliers there. So this is clear down at the end of that rocky area. This is actually where the river comes out into the old riverbed before they built the reservoir. And we're using minnows down here. I also have some corn and a worm on the bottom. We're catching these little black crappie. That's actually what I'm describing to you there, was the difference in how the speckles are completely random. If you'll notice, if you've seen my other videos, the white crappie have vertical bars of stripes going down them, and the black crappie will have just random speckles. They're still very pretty. None of these fish were more than 8 inches long, but fun to catch. Caleb played in this water continuously the whole time we were there. It was pretty warm out that day. Another one of those green sunfish. They're so pretty if you get them in the sun just right. Very pretty fish. So at this point, Caleb had been playing in the water for, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, and he decided he was ready to reel some fish in. So he's not too proud to reel in my fish, and I'm happy to let him. I've used this GoPro since this day, and it has perfect audio. So I'm not sure if I had messed something up when I started out for the day, because the entire day with that GoPro there was no audio. I used my GoPro Hero 7 Silver for all of the intro and outro and the last carp video you'll see, and it had perfect audio, but the rest of the stuff recorded with the black had no audio. It's really difficult to get the exact spot where those fish were. You can kind of see that there's fast water and slow water. They were right at that edge again, just like what we saw in some of our other videos, how those fish really got positioned. I know how people go to the pediatrician and they always ask, uh, is your kid meeting these specific milestones? And they give you a list. And for some reason, it blows my mind that taking your own fish off the hook and baiting your own hook isn't on that list. Because I always explained that to him, that I was very proud of Caleb. He was able to take his own fish off. Even though he really couldn't write his name or anything, he was able to take his own fish off. So this was definitely not a crappie. And Caleb was really hooping and hollering. For some reason, his favorite fish to catch is catfish. He gets really excited about them. Those gold Aberdeen hooks I use for crappie are certainly not the best thing to use for catfish. They are very, very light wire hooks, and when you get them into these catfish, it almost destroys them if they get hooked right. I think I had to tie on a new hook right after this. At this time, he was trying to turn these fish loose into the water a little bit, and then actually that one was squeaking at that point. He was trying to get that on camera, but what he was attempting to do here was turn the fish loose and then recapture them before they swim away. It never worked, but he seemed to be having a good time doing it. So this is that last video I was telling you about. This is Caleb hooking this carp. We hooked this we actually went halfway between where we just were and the other place where we first started, or the place that's just below the spillway where we were up where that fence was. So we kind of came up here a little ways. You can see the white truck parked down here. But anyway, my GoPro battery went dead, and I'm almost glad it did, because I switched to my other one instead of changing the battery, and ended up getting some actual audio of Caleb and this fish. But it is truly a big fish. I didn't weigh it, but I'm guessing it was 12 pounds, maybe a little bit more. He's going to fight it for a few minutes on this, and then you'll notice
I had to get my other GoPro out. The black went dead, so I told Caleb not to reel him all the way in because I wanted to get the rest of it on camera. It's a pretty big fish, so he's going to start pulling it again.
Daddy, get the net ready.
I got the net ready, buddy. You want to stand up? Meanwhile, the fish ran upriver a little bit. It is a nice fish, probably close to 10 pounds.
Yeah, baby. This is heavy. Hey, I didn't see how big this is. I don't want to hold it. I think it's too heavy.
No, you're going to hold him. Don't jerk too hard, just pull him. Oh, I saw him, he's big.
I didn't saw him.
Oh my goodness. That might be the biggest one in the whole creek.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I missed him.
Get ready, get ready.
He might be too big for the net, bud.
Yeah.
Get him pulled up here.
Hey.
Pull him up high. You should have stayed where you were. Stay where you are. You got to get him closer than that. Oh, he's big. Get him pulled up a little bit more.
Okay.
Don't go up the bank anymore. Just reel him in. Reel him in a little bit more. A little bit more. Pull up a little bit.
Dad, this guy's too heavy.
He's big, isn't he?
Dad, you should reel it in.
Pull him in.
Okay. This is.
You about got him now. Don't stop. Oh, he's a bruiser.
Baby.
Here, let me tighten your drag a little bit. Okay. Now if he takes off, be careful. He might pull you in.
And I just punch him in the eye.
You're gonna punch him in the eye if he pulls you in?
Uh-huh.
That ain't very cool.
Oh God.
Oh, you gotta get his head this way. Holy cow.
Dad, I don't know I can hold this.
Holy cow.
Dad, I don't know I can hold this guy. Dad, look at the biggest one
Holy
in the world.
cow.
Look at the biggest one in the world.
It could be the biggest one in the world. I don't think he is though. He's pretty big.
Daddy, I don't know I can hold this guy up. Dad, I don't know I can hold him.
He swallowed our hook. That didn't take long. I'm gonna cut the line. That should rust right out. But I'm gonna have to have you hold him up, okay?
Why?
You ready to get down here close to the water? And what I'll do is put him in your arms. Oh my gosh, he might be 15 pounds.
Yeah, I can hold him.
Yeah, he's big. Hold him just like that. You got him?
It's not heavy.
I'm gonna turn around so you're facing the sun.
Dad, this guy isn't heavy for me.
Can you hold him out any? Like let him down a little bit? Like that? Look at me. Man, he's a whopper.
Daddy, I don't know I can feel this guy.
All right. Well, let's let him back. Shoo! Man, that was a whopper. Well, Caleb and I had a pretty good time. We caught some fish. I'm sure you're gonna see some of those really nice carp we caught. We probably could have stayed longer and caught a few more, but we got to get home. How did you feel about it, Caleb? Show me how big that carp was. That big? He probably isn't far off. It was probably 32, 33 inches, something like that. Yeah, it was pretty big. Was it heavy?
Nope.
Does your shirt smell good? Do you think Mommy will like the smell of your shirt?
No, because mine said.
I think I really like this kind of fishing just because it reminds me of when I was a kid. You know, we just got poles together, we got some worms, minnows, whatever, and we went and fished, you know. We caught what we caught. Sometimes we kept stuff, sometimes we didn't. So, you know, get out there if you have a chance. Any little streams. This is a small dam here that this little stream comes off of, and it's full of humongous carp. So anytime you got a chance, just try to get out there, take your kids out with you, and all fish matter, man. I like catching them all. A lot of people give you flack for catching carp, but man, they're fun to catch. So I say let them be sad and wish they was carp fishing with you. So anyway, we're gonna close this out. Like and subscribe our video. If you guys get a chance, watch the other ones. I think we have 4 or 5 at this point. We're going to try to keep doing this once a week. So have a good one. See you later.